Hey everyone, I wanted to just give a follow-up to my video with Alan Bondar by first saying thank you again, Alan, for the time. It was refreshing. Since then, I've had a couple of people, and I just wonder if this is in the minds of others too, I've had a couple of people reprimand me for interviewing Alan, which it was an interview. I don't know, I had one argument that said, oh, you've given him a platform or you've allowed him to promote his book. People, I trust in the sovereignty of God. I'm not worried about what's going to happen with true believers. Now, I'll be totally straightforward with you. Obviously, I believe Alan is misguided, and he believes I'm misguided. We both are in total opposition regarding our views, like complete opposites. But I don't believe that complete opposites have to hate each other. I mean, it's ridiculous. And Paul said that, I have become all things to all people. To the Jew, I became as a Jew. To those under law, as one under law. To those without law, as one without law. I've become all things to all people, that I might by all means save some. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, he already went through his salvation. And of course, I'm of the strong opinion that he did not lose his salvation. He never had it. Okay? 1 John 2:19 says they went out from us. They were not of us. If they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us, but they went out from us that it might be made manifest or evident that they were not all of us. When Jesus said, depart from me, you workers of iniquity, I never knew you. He never knew them. It wasn't that he knew them. God, the Bible says the gifts and calling of God are without him changing his mind. He doesn't change his mind about salvation. Now, I know a lot of the Church of Christ preterists believe that. A lot of people believe you can lose your salvation. I get comments on my YouTube videos all the time. I believe it's just salvation by works. That's all it is. If you believe you can lose your salvation, you believe in justification by works. Plain and simple. But if a person is a true believer, they're not going to abandon the faith. Okay? Now, I don't know about you, but when I first came to preterism, it was a shocker. It was a real shocker. It was stunning to my psyche. But that's because I had been indoctrinated. I was basically in a cult. Dispensationalism is just a weird Zionist cult. That's all it is. It's on a massive scale. It's affected almost every Protestant denomination. Even the mainline denominations. Some of these people, go on to the radio and they listen to some of these Bible teachers, and they don't realize sometimes that they're listening to evangelical dispensationalists, right? And so they're buying into the whole scheme. They just don't know the theology or the names, Darby, Kelly, Schofield, and all that. But in regard to witnessing, I still believe in witnessing. I am not one of those weird fatalistic preterists who believe the gospel ended in AD 70. The Bible says it's the everlasting gospel. I believe that with my whole heart. I still witness to people. I actually still evangelize. I talk to people. Not out of some moralistic duty, but because I know that knowing God's love and forgiveness has given me great peace in my life in very dark times. And I know that Alan has gone through some dark times. I know that. We all have. I love Alan. I care for him. Yes, I care for his soul. And he would be like, well, he would disagree, but I know he knows I love him. I know that. He believes I'm misguided. He believes that I'm just, caught up in a frenzy of faith. The same with that Fishburne lady. She same thing, But when you as professing Christians tell me not to talk to him or not to interview him or, quote, give him a platform, you don't know what's going on in my mind. I have a method to my madness, if you would call it that. And that method is I want to show Alan, first of all, the love of Christ. I don't always show the love of Christ. In fact, it is some of the professing Christians that I have the hardest time with, honestly. I have many atheist friends, many agnostic friends, and I love them. We should all love them. We should care for them. Jesus said, "They will know you're my disciples by your love." And unfortunately, the world is looking at us. When Jesus said that, he's talking about the world outside, looking at the church. He says, they, the world outside, will know you, the church, are my disciples by your church love for one another. They need to see that. And I don't always show that. I don't. And oftentimes, I am actually a stain in Christianity by the way I treat people. And certainly how I've treated those who are unbelievers. I have to always be on guard about the way I talk. I get very frustrated with pretentious Christians, fake Christians. This posturing of intellectualism it's so prevalent in preterism. I can't stand it. It's gross. It is literally disgusting to me. There are so many preterists, and I have to watch myself that I'm not too self-righteous about that, because I've been there too. So I have to step back, but it's like, guys and gals, we need to assess our posturing. We need to assess our motives for studying. Why are we studying? Why are we digging into the scriptures? Because of pure intellectualism? I think a lot of people are. We have to question our motives. Now, do I believe Alan was genuinely studying to the glory of God? No, of course not. I don't. He thought he was. Now, he may look at this and say, oh gosh, he's just making a judgment. No, I don't think he will, because he knows how I think. He used to think like me, right? I don't believe Alan was ever a believer. He wasn't. He will say he was. From a faith perspective, a presuppositional perspective, he was never a believer. Okay? I'm just being straightforward. Alan knows I love him. He knows what I believe. He would say the same thing when he was, quote, reformed, right? But when you people start chiding me for having a man on my channel you don't know what's in my heart. I'm doing that for your sake so that you can see the arguments, weigh them. And I'm not trying to prove Jesus to him. I don't have to say Jesus in every sentence, and neither do you. People don't want Bible thumpers. They want people to listen. Be slow to speak, quick to listen. That's what James says. I wanted to hear Alan's story. We're going to have another one. We're going to have another discussion, maybe 2 more, maybe 3. I don't know. And we're going to talk about Jesus. Someone said, you never mentioned Jesus. You never talked about Jesus. I talk about Jesus in every single one of my videos. I'm pretty sure I talk about Jesus in every one of my videos. Newsflash, I am a big fan of Jesus. Why? Because he dealt lovingly with a sucker like me. He gave me faith. He opened up my eyes to see my need for forgiveness. That's it. I have so many issues, so many dark, deep issues in my life. It's not even funny, but I've got some deep friends, very close friends, with whom I can share everything, not the least of which are my 2 lovely sons. So I'm just a believer trying to witness to Alan and trying to allow other believers to see what I believe are the fallacious arguments of atheism. I think they're fallacious. I think it's preposterous. There are a few things more illogical than the system of atheism. Can I prove Christianity? No, of course not. Evidential apologetics, as I have very, very clearly explained, and classical apologetics are bankrupt. And believe it or not, when you read a lot of presuppositional apologists, you think the same thing. So anyway, I just wanted to say that, and I am so thankful for you atheists and you believers who chose to watch it. And for those of you who are, just really, hit me in private telling me I was wrong to allow him to be interviewed, I couldn't care less what you think. Because if that's how you are toward unbelievers, where you feel like you have to beat them over the head with Jesus all the time, I don't need to tell Alan about Jesus. He knows about Jesus. He's been to seminary. He's read the Bible. He's studied the Bible over and over. Read his book, Journey Between the Veils. That's not coming from a man who hasn't read about Jesus, right? So witnessing to him in your way, I don't believe that's profitable. Listening to him, hearing his story, hearing what he's gone through, I would love it if he would just, share his journey. Let him share it. Let him share it. If you're afraid that you're going to lose your faith, you've got a problem with the sovereignty of God. You've got a problem with the nature of revelation and the beauty of the gift of faith. That's your problem. You're probably an Arminian. You probably believe you can lose your salvation. That's why you're scared. I'm not scared about that. I'm not. Is it false teaching? Of course it is. Then again, so is self-righteousness. In fact, that's worse. That's worse. That's the worst form. Please see my video. Will the real darkness please stand up? Atheism is not the real darkness, folks. It's not. The real darkness is when people professing to be Christians are proclaiming justification by works. That's the most damnable darkness you could possibly imagine. And I urge you to examine yourself whether you're in the faith. Are we fearful? Can I not talk with an atheist, an agnostic, a Muslim, a Jehovah's Witness, a Mormon? Can I not challenge them? There are many reasons why I had Alan on my channel. To be a testimony to believers, to minister to him, to hear him, to listen to him. Anyway, I had to make this video to explain it. We're going to have another discussion. And so you people who are just outraged that I would have him on my channel, don't listen. Go away. I don't want you. I don't want you to listen. Go somewhere else, because I don't need your bashing me after something that with all my heart I've done to the glory of Jesus. You watch my videos. I exalt Jesus all the time. But I also have atheist friends. I have drug addict friends. I have alcoholic friends. Lord knows I need them. I have friends who are in cults. I have friends who are just in abject poverty and filthy rich. And we all should. We should be people of the people, not men and women of the cloth. So there you go. And Alan, again, I love you. Tristan, I love you. I don't agree with you. I want people to see the fallacious quality of your arguments. I believe that they're totally fallacious. And we're going to talk about Jesus. We are. We're going to talk about Jesus. I'm not going to witness to you. I'm going to ask, what happened with you? What went on? I want to find out your stream of thought. So, anyway, thank you for watching this. I'm sorry if I seem a little frustrated. I am frustrated. I'm mostly frustrated with professing Christians. I really am. I understand self-righteousness. I understand being mean and judgmental. But we need to curb that. We really do. We need to be honest with God about our motives. Why are we doing what we're doing? So anyway, When you study the Bible to grow in your knowledge of Jesus, in your understanding of his grace, his goodness and mercy, his person, his absolute deity. And when you hang out with people that are unbelievers, listen to them. Listen to them. Hear them. Hear their story. They're broken people like all of us. We're not broken in the sense of Christ's forgiveness and redemption. We're broken linearly. We have a lot of problems, a lot of trials, just like atheists, just like agnostics, just like any cult member, just like whatever. We all have the same problems. Listen. Man, it's a skill that I have had to work on so much, and I'm still working on it. Grow in your listening. Jesus listens to you. He listens to you. He puts up with your prayers. The God of heaven actually puts up with your prayers. He actually listens to them. The God of heaven, who has literally every atom in the universe on his mind, he listens to you. He listens to you. And he doesn't interrupt you.